And we came up with these ourselves because systems fell apart.
Tell it.
Yeah, Theresa, we described you impish, playful. You have a sparkle that's solidly rooted.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Theresa.
Hey.
So, I came into this world from David and Diane. Teenagers in high school, they were dating for just a short time and got pregnant. Both feeling nervous, kind of like I am right now, anxious and excited about the possibilities. My roots stem from Eastern Canada. Generations of farmers who worked the land, grew PEI potatoes, and raised pigs. My entire family values hard work, strength, and independence. Family was, and still is, also very important, with both my parents as near youngest in their huge array of brothers and sisters. They too were hoping to start a young family of their own. Within less than a year, the relationship between my parents ended and my father left. Soon after, my mom and I also left the province, both parents believing there was more that life had to offer them than was available on the East Coast. And so I began a life of a community of people raising me, an only child, and having several homes and families. I spent my life thus far learning how to be strong and independent, and I am now learning the value of combining this with connection and vulnerability. My grandparents' home in Nova Scotia, where I lived for 3 years as a child, is the place that felt like family. And the doors were always open, with my aunts and my uncles and my cousins coming and going, and there was always a roast in the oven and fresh bread being made. And my grandma was like a mother to me. She's a very, very strong woman with hardworking hands and a very warm heart. Giving birth to 13 children, she then moved on to raise many of us grandchildren. And in my time with her, she had nothing to share but love. She taught me the meaning of unconditional love, and I continue to feel her presence since her passing last year. Growing up with my father in Ontario for 10 years, I learned the value of time on my own. As a single father, my dad's priority was work. He successfully held 2 jobs. He's a police officer and a mason. And at a young age, I learned to clean the house and take care of the house. He worked a lot of shift work and taught me the meaning of hard work, structure, focus, and dedication. Since I was 4, I visited my mom and her husband during summers and holidays. We'd visit family and go on adventures in the Rocky Mountains, and my mom and her husband, Rod, were the first who introduced me to the West Coast, and I knew that someday I would live there. Having multiple families in multiple places, I learned to often change who I was to be loved and accepted. I also learned to be very strong and independent, because the only steady state through all of that change was a connection to myself. I longed for the chance for my family to be together and to be in one place so I would not have to say goodbye. Growing up, I learned the value of hard work, even at the expense of close relationships. I learned that relationships can be fleeting and short-lived, and it's safest to just rely on myself. I also learned that love can come from different people and places, from my aunts and my uncles and family friends who I would stay with, my father's few long-term girlfriends, and I gained a comfort in moving locations and going on adventures. I became a strong and independent woman, active in every sport in school. I won the Female Athlete of the Year award in grade 8, the last time I wore high heels. And my father was so proud when I was the first female to win the Design and Technology Award in the shop. Not quite so handy anymore. I became a serious, determined, goal-oriented young woman, getting straight A's. I was one of few in my high school to apply to university out of province. Accepted everywhere I applied, I'll never forget my father's support and encouragement in allowing me to choose to head west to UBC with a full scholarship. Growing up with my dad, I was responsible for the household chores. I learned the value of taking care of others and sometimes lost connection with my own self in doing so. My early life experiences have left me most often feeling separate, lonely, and believing I have to do it all myself. I often only trust myself to get things done. I've always been highly motivated, excelling in school and sports and work, yet not always entirely connected to others for fear they may leave, like my dad did before I was 1 and my mom when I was 4. I've had difficulty surrendering control, having fun and being playful. I place blame and criticize others in the world in order to falsely feel safe and protected. Today I want to take ownership of my past, my hurtful behaviors that stemmed from a fear-based place, and make some apologies. First, I want to apologize to myself for having such a high, unachievable bar of perfection that sets me up for failure and unnecessary disappointment. I'm sorry for making some of the choices in my life at the expense of my own self-worth and integrity. My mom and dad, I want to own my experience growing up and accept you for who you are, knowing you did the best with what you had to raise me. Rob, I want to apologize for blaming you for the things I don't like in my life. And I want to apologize for believing you're against me rather than on my own team. The same team. And Rob's 5-year-old daughter, Magda, I owe her an apology for prioritizing cleanliness over connection and play. I grew up thinking keeping a clean house was the way to receive love and recognition. I've been jealous of her and her dad's, their amazing relationship, of believing that there's not enough love to go around and be shared. But I have been mistaken. In the eyes of all of you here today, and my family and the universe, I want to declare that I commit to do my best to trust and keep leaning into love. Surrendering control. I want to have faith and trust things are as they should be, even when I don't have all the answers and I don't know what's coming next. I want to bring more joy and ease into my life, making time for the things I enjoy, and focusing on all that I have to be grateful for. I want to see equality and love in my interactions in work and in yoga rather than competition. I want to harness more positivity, seeing opportunity rather than defeat. I want to stay grounded and connected to Source in order to make authentic decisions that best serve me. And I want to stand undefended and be seen in all my gentleness and all my power, fully owning the tower power of love that I am. To myself, it's time to lower that bar and forgive the past. I want to love my imperfections and allow them to be an opportunity for acceptance. I want to take responsibility for my own happiness, remembering what brings me joy and doing it. I will fumble along the way as I move forward, and I want to soften and love myself as I walk this path of commitment to fully stepping into life. To my parents, you can expect me to own what is mine, all of it. And you can expect me to share more of it too. I want you to see all of me, the sadness and the fear, the joy and the vibrancy. And Rob, I want to stand in all of my glowing power and continue to grow alongside you. I want to trust and feel confident to fully expose myself to you, flaws and all. I want to take ownership of my feelings and openly share them with you in vulnerability rather than defense. I want to fully commit to deep love and laughter, fun and joy in relationship with you by marrying you next month. If it were not for this program and the support and the steadiness, I'm not sure I would have been able to keep trusting in love and commit to marrying you. And to Magda, I want to allow you to be a joyous, fun, innocent 5-year-old. You model playfulness for me. I want to step more into playing and being silly and letting go. I want to continue to grow our bond, trusting along the way that there is more than enough love to go around. I have gifts to offer this world, and it's time to step more fully into owning them. I am a leader. When my strength and determination is funneled in a positive direction, with great confidence, I can guide and lovingly direct. I have a hard-working ethic. I can dedicate myself, focus, and accomplish my goals, as I have done so, choosing to go to UBC, working for CPAWS, living in the Yukon, and traveling many places in the world. When balanced with joy and play, this is a very beautiful strength. I have a strong passion for the things I believe in. I worked for over 5 years for a conservation organization, campaigning for change, connecting with communities, and organizing events. I'm comfortable with adventure and trying new things, with a solid grounding to my inner self. I've completed month-long hiking and canoeing trips in true wilderness and traveled to a handful of different countries so far in my life, including Nigeria and studying in Thailand and India. I'm able to relate to others and consider all viewpoints, and I have an ability to see compromise and bring people together. I can be very organized, clear, and lovingly direct. As an only child, friendships have always been very important to me. I stay in touch with childhood friends and am a reliable friend and companion. Creating community where I live is something I'd like to continue to make a priority. And finally, I want to acknowledge and thank Rob, who's here today to hear my constitution in person. I'm grateful. I may need your help along the way to remind me of the truth and to remind me of what I'm capable of and to choose love over conflict. You can be a soft place to land, and I want to be yours. I will send this to my mom. I actually just had a thought. I could share it with my mom and her husband and my dad when they are here in a month. And I've already been stepping more into connection with Magda. It's making a world of difference. And I want to share my commitments with her to play more. Huge thanks to Clearmind, my teachers, my prac mates, all of you here today. 3 years ago, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I honestly could not have imagined the power of this transformation, and I am grateful. May we all stay connected. Thank you.